We're back. This is Dear Woke Christian, and my name is Jason. Today, we're going to look at something that I believe will be very encouraging and edifying to you in 2 Timothy chapter 3. We're going to look at the entire book, so let's jump in. 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm using the ESV today, godlessness in the last days. But understand this, in the last days, there comes times of difficulties. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having an appearance of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid such people. For among them are those who creep into households and capture weak women, burdened with sin and led astray by various passions, always learning and never able to arrive at a knowledge of the truth. Just as Jannes and Jambres opposed Moses, so these men also oppose the truth, men corrupted in mind and disqualified regarding the faith. But they will not get very far, for their folly will be plain to all, as was that of those two men. Here we go. You, however, have followed my teachings, my conduct, my aim in life, my faith, my patience, my love, my steadfastness, my persecutions and sufferings that happened to me at Antioch, at Iconium and Lystra, which persecutions I endured, yet from them all the Lord rescued me. Indeed, all those who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted, while evil people and impostors will go on from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived. Here we go. But as for you, continue in what you have learned and have firmly believed, knowing from whom you have learned, and how from childhood you have been acquainted with the sacred writings, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Christ Jesus. All scriptures breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, equipped in every good work. 2 Timothy chapter 3. The reason I want to bring this up is because Paul lays out pretty clearly to his young protege that in the last days, things are not going to get much better. Matter of fact, they're going to get a whole lot worse. And he lays it out pretty succinctly. And I'm sure if you were following through, there's quite a bit of these things that we see in our modern day context right now. Then he gets to verse 10, and you hear him kind of shift gears. So he went through and kind of painted the picture, super duper black, super duper bleak. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. And then he comes in verse 10 says, you, however, have followed my teaching, my conduct, my aim in life, my faith, my patience, my love, my steadfastness, my persecutions. He's letting them know, like, hey, you followed along with me so far, keep doing it. And then the true game winner, verse 14, but as for you, continue in what you have learned. So if you've learned Christ, continue in Christ. Don't give up on Christ because verses 1 through 9 exist. Don't give up on Christ and what you've learned because the days are bleak and things are not sunshine and rainbows. If you've learned in Christ, stay there. Stay there. But also for you, continue in what you have learned and have firmly believed. If you've learned it and you believed it, stay with it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Matter of fact, get a tighter grip on it. If you believe it and you know it, continue in it and even get a more firm grip in what you believe, knowing from whom, because you know whom you've learned it. So he knows that he learned earlier. Paul mentioned that Timothy was taught by his mom and his grandma and such like that. And even here, he mentions that he learned from him. So you know these people, you know the character, you know the quality of the people that taught you. Stay committed to what you were taught. Stay committed to what you learned. Hold on to it. You believed it. Continue to believe it even now. And very last thing, this is not just somebody's machinations or just my own thoughts and ideas. You were acquainted with what? The sacred writings, the scriptures. And in this context, we know it's the Old Testament. In our context, it's the Old and New Testament. Because you're acquainted with it, continue in it, remain faithful to it. You know who taught you. You know the quality of the person that taught you, that mentored you, that pastored you, discipled you. And on the same note, you know what they told you. So stay committed and don't give up. So as we're looking at the world that we're currently in and just a lot of the chaos and confusion, the uncertainty, if you will, that's going on in the world today, remember, continue in what you believe. If you believe in it, hold on to it fast. If you know the quality and the character of the persons that taught you, continue in what they told you. And very lastly, don't abandon the scriptures. The scriptures are extremely needful and extremely beneficial in this day and age. This is Dear Woke Christian, the podcast. Thanks so much for stopping by today. If you don't mind, please go check out dearwokechristian.com. I appreciate you doing that. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.